All right, everybody. Well, I've just come to the realization that all the previous filming that I've done is gone. There was a card error, and it never recorded anything that I had previously filmed the last 45 minutes or so. So I'm just going to have to kind of recap a little bit because I just don't have any more mise en place to redo the demo. So what I did was we took 1.5 cups of sushi rice, okay, and we rinsed them in a bowl several times in cold water to get the milkiness out of there, and then went into a small pot. I used this one here, okay, and there's a little bit of rice in it, but I added 2.5 cups of water. And a pinch of salt to the water, boiled it, or brought it to a boil, add the rice, cover, reduce down to a very low, cook for about 20 minutes, uncovered, let it cool for about 5 minutes, and then I was just in the process of adding the seasoned vinegar to it. I went ahead and just gave you guys seasoned rice vinegar. There's a little cup, like this, and it was about 2 ounces. So I just kind of poured it in, and then with my spatula, I kind of just give everything a little stir, gentle. And as I'm stirring off camera, I'm using a pizza pan, and I'm fanning the rice to get it to cool off rapidly. So just give it a little stir and fan. Give it a little stir, okay, and fan. Now what I want to do is I want to give it a little taste. I think you could use a little more vinegar, but not really a whole lot. Maybe just another teaspoon is all that it really needs. And then I'm going to stir that in as well. Okay. And I want to be, again, very careful when I stir. I just want to gently stir from the bottom and up. Kind of break up any large chunks of rice. Okay, just like that. And then again, give it a little fan. Okay, little fanning, get it to cool off. And then I'm going to stir a little more. Now, if you might have somebody in the house that can help you do this. I've worked in tandem before with fellow chefs where, one fans and the other stirs gently. Since I don't have anybody to help me, I'm just kind of doing it by myself. So, just very careful not to break up the rice. So gentle, nice and gentle. Okay. And again, just going to continue to fan. Now also too, I did a little bit of prep work for cutting up some vegetables. I julienned a little bit of carrot. I cut some green onions, avocado in there, wasabi as well too. We each got a little dish of wasabi, so I'll show you that here in a minute. I just want to get this rice cooled off to approximately room temperature. So again, I'm just kind of gently folding, okay, and I'm just kind of checking. It's getting pretty cool, actually, pretty quick. So do this too much longer. Just kind of get some of that out of the way. Yeah, during filming, well, during playback, it showed on the back of the GoPro card error. So unfortunately, everything that I filmed so far never got saved. Okay, that should be okay right there. So I'm just going to take the rice and just kind of set it off to the side. Yeah, that's fine. I prefer it to be a little cooler. I would certainly suggest that, you know, you guys maybe place it in the refrigerator for a little bit. The only thing you want to be careful of is you don't want it icebox cold. Cool is fine, but, you know, not. I just don't like the sushi when it's 40 degrees. So let's kind of recap a little bit. We have to kind of backtrack a little. So I've got my rice right here, which I'm going to need. I've got a little container of water right here as well too. And that's just to dip my fingers in. I'm just going to add a little bit of vinegar to that water. So when I do dip my fingers in and grab the rice, it doesn't dilute the flavor of the rice. So I've got that. I've got my nori sheets, okay, which are right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's about 8 or so. I don't know if necessarily need to do that many. Keep them dry. Don't get them wet, okay? They will get kind of soggy on you. You each got a bamboo mat right here. It was covered in plastic. It was covered in plastic intentionally. I don't want the rice sticking to the little nooks and crannies of the bamboo mat, okay? So I'm going to go to the refrigerator and I'm going to get my mise en place. All right. So I've got my mise en place. I just want to kind of organize myself a little bit. Let me just put that maybe off to the side. Let me put this off to the side for the moment. Let's go over this stuff real quick. Okay. So this is, again, what didn't record earlier. I just took the tops of the green onions and I washed them, and then I cut them into, you know, about 6 inches or so. I did the same with a cucumber, okay? I just took a cucumber, I peeled it with a vegetable peeler. I took a metal spoon, just a regular teaspoon, and I scooped the seeds out of the center of it, and then I cut the cucumber into thin slices as well too. They probably measure close to 1/4 of an inch by, again, about 6 inches or so. I took a little bit of carrot and I finely julienne the carrot as well too. Now that's certainly something that, you know, you guys have done. And then I took an avocado. I cut it in half. I removed the stone and I sliced the avocado about every 1/4 of an inch or so for the avocado. The crab sticks themselves, okay, each of them is wrapped in a little plastic, so you do want to remove the plastic from, you know, your crab sticks prior to making your sushi. I did notice they're not quite as wide as a sushi wrapper, but that's okay. It certainly won't, you know, hurt anything. You know, we can always cut the sushi wrappers down a little bit in size. Remember, this is just kind of for fun, a little bit of practice. I know that, you know, last year we were planning on doing this, but then due to the COVID pandemic, we weren't able to. And then your wasabi, each of you got a little container of green powder. That green powder is wasabi powder. And you just mix it with a little bit of water to create a paste. And again, the end product should be, you know, kind of like Play-Doh a little bit. when you're done. It is kind of strong, and it is not technically wasabi. It's horseradish. Just clean it up a little. It is horseradish. Now I will say, if this was a work environment, gloves is an absolute must. This is a ready-to-eat food. So we need to and should be wearing gloves. But I'm doing this for home use, so I won't bother. But I am going to wash my hands thoroughly before we do get started. And I've started wash my hands before this as well too. So as you can see, the sushi wrappers themselves, are a little smaller than the actual wrapper. But if you look at the wrapper up close, and I don't know if we can see it per se, I'm trying to get an angle there. There's little perforations in it, okay? There you go. You can actually see it in that light. So there's a little line there, little line here, little line, and so forth. If you take it and you just kind of eyeball the crab stick, okay, you'll notice that it'll line up with one perforation right here. So what I can do is I can cut my nori sheet down, okay, right along that little perforation. Okay, now it will fit to size. Excuse me. All right, so get started. Well, let me pause for a moment, okay, and just kind of get myself a little organized, and then we'll start. Well, no, that's okay. I don't need to organize. I'm fine. Okay, so I'm going to put my sushi wrapper down on my mat. There's a shiny side, and then there's a dull side. Shiny side down, okay. I'm going to dip my fingers in water, and I'm doing that off camera, and then I'm just going to take a little bit of my rice, and I'm going to place my rice down, and when I notice that, the rice is sticking to my fingers again, I just go back to dipping them in that bowl of water. All right, and I'm just going to kind of gently spread the rice out. I don't want to pack it down, okay, because it'll make it just too dense. So just kind of spread it out a little bit, end to end. Okay, just a little more right there. That's probably good. So we're making little minis, if you will. All right. So I've got my rice, okay. I've got my bamboo mat on my cutting board. I'm going to take a little bit of wasabi, and I'm just going to rub a little wasabi right where I'm going to put the crab stick. I'm going to place the crab stick on, and then some of my garnishes. So here I got a little cucumber, okay, a little carrot, not much. Pardon my dog, is going to now take a big drink of water. So right there, a little carrot, okay. I don't know what else, maybe a little avocado. So I'll just scoop a little avocado out. There we go. Little avocado, okay. All right. Wash my hands a little. Dry. A little sanitizer. Okay, now we can roll. So now just take your mat, okay, bring it over and around, just like this. Okay, and you're just going to walk it forward. So just take and kind of cover everything up and walk it forward. Roll, 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 walk it forward. Okay. just like that. A little bit squirts out the end, don't worry about it. Once I get it to where it is shaped, then I can kind of pull that back, get a nice tight roll, roll it up. Okay. And there's my first one. So let's go ahead, take a moment, and let's cut that. I don't have traditional sushi knives. I just have chef's knives. But we'll take, and I wet my knife a little bit, and we'll just cut down, okay? And I want to clean my knife off a little bit because that rice is sticky. So every time you cut, it's not a bad idea to kind of just lubricate the knife a little bit. And then I can come in and I can cut it into more manageable size pieces. When again, I notice that it's sticking. Okay. I can wipe off my knife again. Just a quick little snap, okay, and down. So, whoops. Got our little platter, and then I can just position my sushi, you know, on my platter, just like that. Okay. And now I've got my sushi rolls. Okay. So let's do a few more. Okay. So again, just make sure your board is clean and dry. All right. Get your mat. Place it down. Now, I don't necessarily need to measure each one, okay? Because I know from my first that, you know, it'll break right at that second fold. So I can actually find the second fold and I can bend it a little bit and it should just easily tear. And if not, you know, I can always go back to using my knife. But that did pretty well. Okay?